Eric DeCosta finally spoke. After days of speculation, debates, and nonstop curiosity surrounding the Jesse Minter hire, the Ravens GM decided to come out and explain what really mattered in that decision. This wasn't a rush move. It wasn't outside pressure. And it definitely wasn't random. There's a much deeper line of thinking behind this hire than it might look at first glance. And once you understand how this decision was made, everything starts to line up. The kind of team Baltimore wants to be, how this franchise views big games, and why Jesse Minter's name kept rising inside the building. What DeCosta said completely changes how you look at this new chapter for the Ravens. And the details are what make all the difference. Picture this for a second. Instead of chasing the hottest name on the market, the Ravens sat back, took a breath, and looked at the coaching pool the same way they look at the draft every single year. Who's the best option right now? Not the loudest name, not the most hype one, but the coach who brings the most important things to the table all at once. That's exactly how Eric DeCosta described the process behind hiring their next head coach. When he talked about a coach's draft, the idea becomes pretty simple. Every candidate was evaluated across multiple traits, just like a player prospect: leadership, command of the locker room, the ability to own one side of the ball, immediate respect from players, composure when things get tense. This wasn't about one standout skill. It was about the full package. And here's the key part. This tells you Baltimore wasn't looking for someone to learn on the job. They wanted a head coach ready to take control from day one. Someone who walks into the room, addresses players and staff, and is instantly heard. According to DeCosta, Jesse Minter was a guy who consistently checked that box. That approach explains why Minter's name gained so much momentum so quickly. The front office wasn't just searching for leadership or authority. They were looking for someone who could give this team a clear way to impose itself on the field, especially in games where identity matters more than any single adjustment. From the moment John Harbaugh was out, the internal message was clear. Baltimore wanted to be known again for how it plays defense. This wasn't nostalgia or clinging to the past. It was about recognizing what has historically made the Ravens one of the toughest teams in the league. And the front office made it clear that whoever took the job had to align with that vision. Eric DeCosta explained that defense isn't just one phase of the team. It's the foundation everything else is built on. Constant pressure, aggression, quick reads, the ability to dictate tempo. Those traits have always defined Ravens football. When that side of the ball is right, the offense plays freer, the run game opens up, and the team controls the most important moments. Jesse Minter fits that picture almost perfectly. His recent work shows a defense that's fast, disciplined, and aggressive, one that doesn't wait for mistakes but forces them. That mindset lines up directly with what Baltimore believes it takes to win big games, especially in an AFC that's only getting more physical and competitive. And once that defensive identity starts to come into focus, it becomes easy to see why the coaching decision wasn't just about scheme, but about how the head coach reacts when the game tightens and every second matters. One of the points DeCosta kept coming back to was imagining the coach inside the game, not just on the whiteboard. How does he react when the original plan fails? What does he say at halftime after a rough first half? How does he keep the group together when the season hits turbulence? Those questions carried real weight in the evaluation. The front office wasn't looking for someone who only understands football. They wanted someone who can lead people under stress. The NFL isn't just preparation, it's reaction. It's making fast decisions, adjusting on the fly, and maintaining confidence when things feel unstable. Minter stood out because he showed clarity in exactly those moments. That helps explain why the evaluation went so deep. Baltimore has lived through seasons where the talent was there, but emotional consistency wasn't. The goal now is leadership that stabilizes the team mentally, not just tactically. And that type of leadership doesn't stop on game day. It shows up in how the head coach builds relationships, sets standards, and organizes daily work, which becomes especially important when the conversation turns to who's standing next to him on the coaching staff.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
For the Ravens, hiring a head coach doesn't mean hiring one person. It means hiring a structure. DeCosta made it clear that he evaluated each candidate's ability to build, lead, and sustain a coaching staff that functions well, stays aligned, and earns respect inside the building. Minter graded highly in this area because he showed a clear vision for how to delegate responsibilities, trust his assistants, and create an environment where the work gets done without ego getting in the way. That matters in a league where weekly adjustments depend on clean communication across every department. A well-built staff directly impacts player development, opponent preparation, and consistency over the course of a long season. It's not the kind of thing that grabs headlines, but it's exactly the kind of detail that separates stable teams from volatile ones. When that level of organization comes together with leadership and a clear identity, the result is a team better equipped to handle any situation, especially the close, grinded-out games that often define entire seasons. When DeCosta talked about what he expected to see on the field, he painted a very specific picture. A team that's fast, physical, aggressive, and capable of playing complementary football. A defense that sets the tone. An offense that capitalizes on opportunities. And an overall presence that makes opponents uncomfortable from start to finish. The goal isn't to win pretty. It's to win tough games. Close games. Ugly games. Games where every possession matters. Baltimore wants to be that team nobody enjoys facing, especially late in the season when wear and tear start to show. That vision lines up directly with the franchise's recent history and what's worked when the Ravens have gone the furthest. This isn't empty talk. It's a clear direction, backed by decisions made from the very beginning of the hiring process. Now, with Jesse Minter's introductory press conference approaching, the message starts moving from words to reality. That's where the first real signs of this new phase begin to show. Not through slogans, but through how the team starts to see itself and present itself. Eric DeCosta's comments make one thing clear. The Jesse Minter hire wasn't an isolated move or a rush reaction to market. It was a deliberate decision, built step by step, grounded in identity, leadership, and a specific belief about how big games are won. When method, conviction, and a clear football vision come together, the outlook in Baltimore changes entirely. More than just a new head coach, the Ravens are signaling a direction, a return to the standards that have always defined the organization, paired with modern understanding of the league, the physical demands, and the weight of decisions in critical moments. The message is now consistent, a line from the front office to the field. And in the NFL, that's often the difference between fragile projects and sustainable ones. Now I want to hear from you. Do you agree with how Eric DeCosta handled this hire? Is Jesse Minter the right guy to lead this next chapter of the Ravens? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is just getting started, and I really want to see where you stand on this move.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.